नमस्ते गुरुजी, जय गुरुजी महाराज, जय गुरुजी Satsang ji. With folded hands, we thank you, our Guruji Maharaj, for enabling us organizing Sangat sharing Seva today. Today, we are fortunate to have with us dear Mps Sandhu Uncle ji, who will be sharing his journey with Guruji Maharaj, his blessings from Guruji Maharaj. Sangat ji, as we always wish to deepen our connection with Guruji Maharaj, we are looking forward hearing your experiences and blessings. Sandhu uncle, over to you. Jai Guruji.
जय गुरु जी. Thankful to Guruji. Shukrana unka. The Shukrana is thankful for giving me an opportunity to speak of his praises and of what he has done for us and is doing for us all the time. During Guruji's time, the satsang didn't do any preaching. And Guruji made us stand and just explain what all blessings he's given us and how he has given us those blessings. So today also I will be sticking to that, but with a little explanation. See, first of all, I will just clarify a few things about Guruji, that his order or hukam, as he called it, was like a fixed line. It had to be obeyed, and there was no question of violating it. I'll give you examples. When he was in Delhi, his instructions were that if anybody wants to go to Jalandhar, Gurdwara, his mandir in Jalandhar, it would be with his permission. So he had given me permission once, and we had gone there. We were very happy. Then a few months later, again, I was going down to Amritsar, so since I would be passing Jalandhar, I thought, let us again go and visit the mandir at Jalandhar. But unfortunately, it was not a weekday, so I could not get Guruji's permission. I tried very hard, spoke on the phone to the Sevadars, but nobody was prepared to disturb Guruji at that time. So anyway, we decided that we'll in any case go past. So we'll go into Mathai, only we just go to play for a second and carry on. So there's not any problem. But about a kilometer short of Jalandhar, or I would say about 2 kilometers short of the mandir, there was suddenly a cloudburst and very heavy rain. So much so that when we turned in to go towards the street where Guruji's mandir was, there was a vehicle, SUV coming in front, and his tire could not be seen in the water. We were in a Honda City car, so it was impossible that our car would reach there. So we turned back and carried on towards Amritsar. And believe me, within another kilometer, it was absolutely dry. It was just that little patch where we were going to go to Guruji's mandir without his permission had become impossible for us. So this is one example of his this thing. Another thing Guruji always said, he says, Mahapurush tells you, hints to you or tells you 3 times. If you understand it and you go ahead with it, fine. If you don't, the loss is yours. This is another thing he always said. Now, his method of blessing, he would bless in various methods. Sometimes he would give a task to you, seva, he called it. And it would again be dependent on what is your capability and what sort of seva you are capable of doing. For example, he asked me once to get something from Ladakh, knowing that I'm an army officer and I have troops in Ladakh and I'll be able to get it. So another time he just made me stand up and announce that Guruji's birthday will be celebrated in the Bada Mandir. I mean, that is also seva. So that was his way sometimes of blessing you. He would find a reason and a method to bless you. Sometimes you know, uh, it happened with me. He called me into his room to tie his turban. We were going out somewhere. So he wanted to tie a turban on his head. And he wanted me to tie it. So that again is seva. Uh, you know, we were going somewhere to attend a marriage along with Guruji. And Guruji said, I, he said, I'll go in your car. So I asked him, will you go in my private car or would you like to go in my official car? Because my private car is small. He said, no, we'll go in your official car. So we went in the official car. We attended the satsang. And incidentally, my drivers, my sevadars, batmen, every cooks, everybody used to attend Guruji's Satsang. They were all Guruji's Bhagats. So here, after coming back, and we broke off so, and went back to our house. And next morning, going to the office, the driver says, Sahab, I can smell Guruji's fragrance. Can you smell it? I said, no, I can't. He continued to smell it, get Guruji's fragrance for the next 7 or 8 days. And I never got it. So what was it? It was Guruji blessing him. Guruji had asked for the car, official car, so that he could bless him. That was his way of blessing people. Sometimes he would, talk to you personally. That was blessing you. He would take you along to some function. He'd give you his tea, part of his tea to have. That was his ways of blessing. Coming in our dreams, that was also part of his blessing. And what he said would happen. There was no question of it not happening. Whatever he said would happen. There was, my son was going on the ship. So he asked for, Guruji's photo. It was given to him by Guruji. He went on the ship. While he was going, we asked Guruji, Guruji, can we keep that photo at home? Or he said, no, let him take it. I'll give you another one. Now 6 months passed and he never gave us anything. Then suddenly one day, he gave us a wonderful photo in a silver frame, photo made on a silver piece and given by his own hand. So since he had said it, it was done. Again, when our house was built, he would keep asking when we were building the house, is my room ready? We said, Guruji, the whole house is yours, my room. Then when the house was complete, and we told him it's complete, and my wife, she said, Guruji, you must come. He said, yes, we'll come and we'll do satsang also at your house. But after that, a few months later, before he could come, he took samadhi. So we were wondering how come Guruji said we will do satsang and he's gone. But then this book, what they call the photo granth, this late Mr. Raghu Rai, he had made this book on Guruji's instructions after his samadhi with photos of Guruji's time, a full album, big album. So this was to be distributed to people in Chandigarh. And this task was given to me by Raghu Rai. So I organized a satsang at home. Everybody came and we distributed the book. There it was. Guruji had satsang at our house and with a special purpose. So whatever he said always came true. Is my son going on the ship asked him, he said, Guruji, can I give you a call sometimes? He said, no, no, telephone to you do with your mommy, papa. You and me, we will have telepathy. And that was it. He went. And one day we were sitting with Guruji, and suddenly, Guruji had gone out, and he came back and he carried a box of laddus with him, sweets. And he started distributing one to each. When my wife went forward, he gave two laddus to her. So she came and she tells me, Guruji is giving everybody one, he's given me two. Obviously, he's given one for my son. And she was just saying this when the Sebadar came and he says, your son is on the phone, on his phone, Colonel Joshi. So we went and I spoke to him and I said, how you rang up here? Did you ring up at home? He said, no, I thought you might be there. And when he came back, I checked with him. I said, look, how come you rang up? Here, you never rang up while we were there. You always rang up at home. He said, I don't know. I woke up at about 2 o'clock at night. And I just got a feeling I must give you a call. So that is Guruji's telepathy again. Guruji had told him that there will be telepathy between us. And here he did it and showed it to us by giving my wife two laddus. Even today, with Guruji, if you sincerely, do pranam, salute him on his in front of his photo, he, he answers your questions. If you have a problem, your mind will get an answer. If you're worried about something, your mind will get an answer. May not be every day, but it will come. It will come. At times, the thought comes to your mind, okay, look, so that is even today, he's there. He's there and he's blessing us, looking after us. Mm. At times you close your eyes in front of his Swarup, a photo, and you'll see that you can still see him. You will see him in a different shape. So he's there and he keeps letting you know that he's there. I'll, I'll cover some of his blessings. Um, you know, is firstly when I joined, when we first went, we never had any problem. We just, my elder brother and sister-in-law used to go to him. So they had come down and with them, my wife went one day and next day she told me, why don't you also come? So I also went. We went to him and he accepted us, made us sit down. And but he used to say also, he said these ifs and buts, the ladies get rid of them very fast. But the men folk, their ifs and buts take time, which is a fact even with me. So I would sit there and I would say, okay, look, I must test him. Is he worth being my guru? I'd been taught this by somebody, including my father. Even Guruji used to say sometimes, if you go to any fellow who claims to be a guru, test him. So to test him, I said in my mind, not to Guruji. I said, I've got 5 lakhs of rupees stuck with a builder, which has not been returning despite my best efforts. If you get me that, I will consider you my guru. So this happened and this was in my mind. And I thought of it that way, that I have spoken to Guruji. But we used to hear satsangs every day. Guruji would keep us there till late at night. And then the older Sangat would tell their, incidents about Guruji to us. And after some time, I realized that I'm a silly fellow. What a stupid thing I asked. He's such a great man. He's God himself. And what have I asked him for? So then sitting there, I started saying, "Hey, Guruji, I don't want my 5 lakhs. I'm sorry I ever asked you for it. I don't want that. I'm happy being with you, being in your seva, and hopefully I'll get across, Paujal Par, this, across the river of death, so that I don't have to retake a rebirth again. I don't have to take rebirth again." So with this in mind, this is what I started praying, sitting there. I don't want my money. But next time I came to Chandigarh, as a matter of routine, I used to go to that builder and say, "Well, what about my money?" So this time he says, "Sir, we'll give it to you in a week." My gentleman who has to give it to me is in the hospital. He's likely to come out in a week and I'll have the money sit. And sure enough, within a week, I get a telephone call that your money is ready. Please tell us what to do with it. So thinking, that nobody gives you your full money back. They make excuses here and there. So I asked him, I said, "How much are you giving?" So he says, "Sir, 5 lakhs, 30,000. I'm giving you 30,000 as damages." Well, this was out of the world. Only Guruji could get that done that way. So, fine, I said, "Okay, my brother-in-law will come, give him the draft." And that was it. But I'm saying that here I had stopped asking. I was requesting Guruji, I don't want it. But he knew his Bhagat needs it. So he got it for him. That is the way he cared for us. The tsunami that year, he had asked the army, some of the army Bhagats under General Kapoor, was a senior. Do you people organize a satsang? And we thought of Clare Farm and at Mr. Clare's farm, who was also Guruji's Bhagat, and that is where we organized the satsang. Now, he would not, he would approve the location, he approved everything, but he wouldn't give the date. So we would ask him for the date again and again, and he would say, "I'll let you know, I'll let you know." And ultimately, he gave the date of 31st December that year. That was the night the tsunami came. So he had intentionally kept that date so that his Bhagats are all close to him and safe from any problems. In fact, there were two families who had booked hotels, air tickets to go to Bangkok, or not Bangkok, Thailand. And he refused to let them go. He said, "No, you will not go." They said, "Guruji, we're going to lose money." He said, "Never mind, you're not going." Those people asked some of us, "Yeah, please request Guruji." Nobody is going to request Guruji, but he didn't allow them to go. And sure enough, the place where they were going to go and stay in Thailand was badly affected by the tsunami. So that way, he cared for his bhagats. He looked after them, and he's even doing that today. He's even doing that today. Because I'll tell you some of the blessings which we've got from him personally. My wife, she suffered from, Meniere's disease. That is some water in the ear, and because of that, you get a lot of vomiting and things like that. And you can't stand straight. I mean, you are in so much of pain. She used to take some, we tried a lot of places for the cure, but for 15, 16 years, no cure really took place. There was one homeopathic guy who was given us medicine with which the effect would reduce somewhat. But it was there. It was there. And we just gone for about 15, 20 days to Guruji. And like Guruji said, the ladies, the ifs and buts end much faster than men. She just said, "Look, I am not going to take any more medicine. Guruji will cure me." She never spoke to Guruji, nothing. She just said, I'm sure he'll cure me." And she came home and she started getting this very effect and getting it bad. And, I asked her to take some medicine. She threw the medicine out of the window. She just throw it out. I'm not going to have it. For 15 days, She was in very bad shape, extremely bad shape. She couldn't get up from the bed on her own. She had to be helped. On the 15th or 16th day, she had a dream. Guruji standing in front of her and just rubbing his head, round and round with his hand. And that was the dream. And next morning, she woke up crystal clear, absolutely okay. And that was the last it was. It's never happened again. Similarly, she had a problem with choroiditis. The eyes, the retina had got affected. Again, with Guruji's blessings, came okay. The doctor who cured her said, he said, this is a miracle. You've been cured within a week. People here have been coming to me with half the intensity of the problem which you had. And she's been carrying on with me for the last 3 months, still not cured. And you have got cured just within a week with the same medicine. So he said, I haven't cured you, God has cured you. This is a miracle. So that accidents, twice we had major accidents. Once my car from the front was dragged for about 5 feet. There were four of us in the car, not a scratch to any one of us. Even the car could be repaired, and I had to pay nothing for the repair. The insurance, come whatever was the balance, the gentleman due to whom the accident took place, he cleared the bill. So another time, my wife was driving, and you know, a young lady on a scooter suddenly came in front of her. It took a sharp turn. So she put her brakes and swerved the car to the side. And there was a big ditch in front. If she had fallen in that, the car and her both would have gone. But somehow the other, short of the ditch, there was a little pit in which the car hit. The car turned to the other side and came and hit a electric pole and stopped. The front of the car had gone in so much that her feet could not be seen on the clutch and this thing. But yet, even her feet were okay. Nothing happened. She was sitting there. She came out. People were around. People came there. They thought she'd be seriously injured, but she was okay. And that was again Guruji's blessings. Even after Guruji took Samadhi, I'll tell you how he looked after us. We were here in a house and we had to go to Hong Kong to be for a month with my daughter and son-in-law. They'd been calling us for a long time. There would be nobody at home. I was a little worried about thefts, etc. So, we checked up, and from the village, one of the persons who visited us quite often in the village, Mr. Chopra, old man, about 75 years old, he volunteered. He said, no, I have nothing to do. I'll go and stay there for a month. What is the problem? So he came and he stayed here in our house. And we made all the arrangements. I had a Nepali servant for cooking. So I said, he'll cook for you. There's no problem. That boy was a little, young, so I could leave the house at his this thing. So anyway, things moved on well. And after about 2 weeks, I get a call from this servant boy's father. Your servant arrested by police. I said, what the hell? I said, a young fellow must have gone and picked up a fight with somebody. He must have got arrested. So I rang up my nephew in India and I said, yeah, please just go, stays nearby. I said, please go and check what the hell has happened. He went and he said, no, it is not him. They've picked up Mr. Chopra. It is the intelligence people. They've been looking for him for a long time. He has had relations with terrorists in Punjab. And there are cases against him and they've lifted him. For me, that was, you can imagine what sort of a shock it was. He's being a terrorist associate being caught in my house. And here I'm a general officer from the army who has fought insurgents in 3 states: Punjab, the Srinagar Valley, and Assam. And here in my house, this fellow is caught and he turns out to be a thing. So I mean, it was, I don't know what hit me. I couldn't, it was. So at such a time, what do? You look towards Guruji. I had his swarup in my phone. So I opened it. I used to every day look at it. So it's there. I said, Guruji, what's happened? What have you done? What has been done? Can you believe it? Uh, Next day, my nephew rang up and he said, get the newspaper on the internet and read. There's an article about him. So I read. They showed him as arrested in Chandigarh, well away from my house. They said that he was going in a vehicle and they stopped him at a checkpoint and arrested him. Nobody till date asked me a question. I have never been questioned. Of course, that fellow is also now released. He's back home. They passed him off, cleared him later. The judge cleared him. But the fact is that not a single question was asked to me. I was absolutely in the clear with no problem at all. So, these sort of things uh, give you that faith that even today he's there. This was after Guruji's Samadhi. My son, during COVID days, when COVID was at its height, and the COVID started from Wuhan, my son, the shippy, was sailing in that area. And he would be visiting Wuhan every fortnight or so. He's moving around Wuhan, Singapore, Japan, in that general area. And he visited there, and no relief was possible. Nobody wanted to go, so there were no reliefs. And he was there for a month. And we used to be so worried of all the places, Wuhan itself, and all those areas. But then Guruji was there. We had that faith. Nothing will happen. Guruji is there. And sure enough, Guruji looked after him. He was absolutely clear. Nothing. No problem at all. And he came back a month later, all hale and hearty. Let's tell you another incident. Guruji had gone to a Badi, which is a place in, about 30 kilometers ahead of where we stay. From Delhi, he had come there, and there is a dental college where he was gone to bless them, and they're opening the college. And they were putting up a mandir, his mandir, the boys and the instructors, some of them were Guruji's bugs. So they wanted to make a mandir there, and they wanted Guruji to come and bless it. So he went and he blessed it. He blessed that college. On his whenever he went, he took about 10, 15 cars worth of people, buckets went along with him everywhere, minimum that much. But he, of course, tried to keep it to the minimum possible. And on the way back, he never stopped anywhere. He passed in front of my house is in a colony which is on the highway. So he passed by, carried on. When he met my wife and me next time, he tells my wife, I blessed your house. I stood there and blessed it. And then he asked me, he says, who's that neighbor to your house? So I told him, sir, I first thought he was asking about Delhi, but then he asked again. So I said, sir, Mr. Agarwal. That time there were only in that lane, only 2 houses being constructed, his and mine, and there was no other house in that lane. But he knew, look, he was telling us, look, I actually stood there. He says, this was, who was that neighbor? Then my wife said, Guruji, behind the house there are fields outside the boundary wall. She started smiling. He said, you should have, what one? What happened? The Patwari never agreed. Patwari is the guys who sell these things. No, that was owned by a retired, Patwari, government servant. He knew that. He's telling us, he said, he didn't agree to sell. Because we tried very hard, but that fellow wouldn't sell. He didn't want to sell. So that was that. Now, a few months later, Guruji took Samadhi. And when I came to Chandigarh next, my, you know, I retired by then. And all the various men who'd been working in my house, various artisans, when they got to know about Guruji, they all came to, offer condolences to me that your Guruji is gone, because I would talk to them quite often about it. One of them, who's a Muslim guy, he says, your Guruji was a great man. I said, how do you know? You've not even seen him. He was jokingly. I said, no, I've seen him. I said, where have you seen him? He says, sir, I've seen his photo in your house. And I'm telling you, I have seen him. I said, how? He says he came, got out of the car at the gate, and he asked, is General Sandhu here? Okay, he's in Delhi, never mind. And he got into his car and went away. This was the same period when Guruji was telling us, I went and stood outside your house and blessed it. So, shows Guruji could be at more than one place at the same time. And surely that is why we feel we are blessed with Guruji having personally come and blessed the house. I mentioned about the last four satsangs which Guruji had. He used to have on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So now these are the last four. Nobody knew his Guru take Samadhi after this. But they were there and I was lucky. My wife couldn't come because a granddaughter had just been born. So she was looking after her daughter and granddaughter. And, those four satsangs, the way Guruji went, in fact, even before this, the last few months, Guruji would tell the Sangat, he says, go get as many people as you can get. He wanted to bless as many as he could, help as many as he could while he was still there. And here then, in those satsangs, he would keep us, earlier on also, we would wait till 1 or 2 o'clock, but now till 3, 4 in the morning. And langar prasad twice, once in the 8, 9 o'clock, and then again at 12, 1 o'clock again, he would say, give them langar, those who were left behind. And he was, tea chai prasad or tea prasad 3, 4 times a day at night. He was doing that. He was going out of the way to bless again people more and more. And yes, he expressed one regret. And that was, he said that, people have not really gained so much out of me because they don't know what to ask for. He says, here people ask you for, especially referring to the Delhi crowd. He says, if somebody wants a loan to be cleared, somebody wants a house to be built, somebody wants a case to be sorted out, somebody wants a loan. He says, when you ask Mahapurush will give it. He will give it because he is that way kind, he has to give it. But it will not give you that satisfaction which we should derive. He says, things which somebody should ask, which people should ask for, nobody asks. He says, what is that? What we should be asking for? Nobody ever asked him, but he always mentioned this. Of course, we can sensibly assume that what he was meaning was that ask for blessings so that you can go up to God and don't have to come back. Things of that nature make you a good man here. Complete your sins so that you don't have to come back. And, as far as sins are concerned, yes, he said he clears sins of all people all his bhagats, leaves about 10 to 20% for them. But the rest he clears, and we've seen it. We've seen him going through extreme pain, vomiting blood, blue legs turned blue, whenever he was taking others' illnesses and things on himself. So we've seen that. He went through a lot of this thing. But here then he smilingly said, he said, okay, then if people don't learn, I think I'll go. So we thought he was saying he's going to come back to Punjab. But we didn't know that what he meant was that he's going to leave. So that was another, it came as a shock. I mean, we were attended these 4 satsangs and we came, and apparently the next day he started feeling unwell. The people around there told him, Guruji, let's go to the doctor. He says, no, not required. He didn't go to the doctor for 2-3 days purposely. And ultimately, he said, okay, let's go. And he went. And I think by the time he reached the doctors, he was already no more. Though they put him on the ventilator, and the news was broken to us slowly. Look, he's not well, he's not well. Then later, few hours later, we were told that he's no more. And imagine what the doctors analyzed it. They said he's, high sugar. He cured so many people from sugar. So it's not that he couldn't cure himself, but he had to go. And at his funeral, everybody had tears in their eyes. But suddenly everybody started getting the same feeling that Guruji is saying, don't worry, I'm here. I'm still here with you. And in fact, I'm in a better position today because now I don't have to go through all the troubles to look after you, to take your sins away, because I'm not in a human body anymore. I'm back to where I should be. So that is the feeling one got. And that feeling is right. It is very much there. Even today, last thing before I close, he would always say that very bad days are going to come. The days ahead are going to be very bad. So when COVID came, people said, Guruji had said bad days will come. So COVID is there. I don't think it was just COVID. Look at the world today. The Iran-US war has destroyed the economy of all nations in the world. There is violence and war all over the world, whether it is Africa, whether it is Ukraine versus Russia. Everywhere you see there is violence, there are wars, there is terrorism, terrorist attacks, all sorts of things all over. So you can see the tide is toward things getting worse. And Guruji would say, very bad days are going to come. And he also used to say, those who pray, they will survive. They won't have a problem. So you must pray. And what is the prayer? He says, just take God's name. Our mantra jap is good enough. Om Namah Shivaya, Shivji Sadasai. Om Namah Shivaya, Guruji Sadasai. He says, whenever you're free, when you're doing nothing, just keep taking this name. Even if you're working anywhere, wherever you are, you're sitting somewhere, in your mind doing nothing, you start taking his name. He says, those who do this, those who keep remembering the Lord, they are the people who will survive. Guruji would say. He says, they are the people who will survive. So that was him. And in end, I think I would say that having seen Guruji in his lifetime, when was sometime his, while he was in his chola, and seeing him even seeing his, helping us out even today. One says that one remembers Guruji's words: "I was, I am, and I will be," and that's what it is. So with that, I think I'll close for the day, and uh, thank you, Wasim Uncle, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, Guruji, for giving me this opportunity. And Jai Guruji.
Dhan Dhan Guruji Maharaj, Jai Guruji Maharaj, very blissful and divine Sangha sharing we have heard. Thank you very much for sharing your experiences and valuable messages for the Sangaji.
Thank you.
Your messages were indeed divine.
Jai Guruji. It's all his saying. I didn't do it. It's Guruji putting it through
Yes,
me.
it's only him, it's only
It's
Maharaj.
him.
Yes, who is महाराज की कृपा आप पर बनी रहे। अब हम सब गुरु जी महाराज से आज्ञा लेंगे। जय गुरु जी, शुक्राना गुरु
Jai
जी।
Guruji.